Mic is live and you should be good to go.
Okay, let's see what I can do in the next 20 minutes. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Sorry for the technical difficulties here. I'm gonna try to get through these slides and not talk too fast for you guys, okay? This segment is breaking into cyber. It's just my 2 cents on how you all can better get your foot in the door in the cyber realm. So you want to work in cybersecurity, what now? How do you choose which role within cybersecurity is a good fit? How do you get your first cybersecurity job? I'm here to help answer those questions for you. As a former web designer that has successfully transitioned into cybersecurity, I can show you how I managed to have a career in cybersecurity, maintain my pay scale, negotiate, advocate for myself, and end up with my dream job role. Order negotiation, which statistically women do not do for themselves, and as well as how to get your foot in the door. Thank you. Okay, who am I? Shortcut version of this. I'm a web designer, formerly, and a UX designer. I was a front-end coder for 13 years. 7 years now in cybersecurity. So my background, one day I'm doing UX work, and my dad, who's been in cybersecurity for over 20 years, says, I have this Security Plus book that I want you to give to your friend. I said, okay, I'll give it to her. She's a banker. She has a degree in IT, but she's never used it. And I just was curious. I was nosy. So I opened the book myself, studied it, and took the exam. It was a Security Plus book. And I found it to be really interesting. So my realm was always web. And I went into web application pen testing. My first job that I got was a Hail Mary. That's how I consider it. The first time that I applied for a job, I got it. And I had to explain my background. I had to explain why I was a good fit for the cyber position, because I had never done cyber work hands-on. I had only read about it in the Security Plus book. So I was able to talk my way into the door by saying, look, I may not have cyber experience, but I have tech experience. And that's also what helped me save my pay grade, because I was able to say, look, I'm not a complete newbie in the cyber realm. I mean, in the tech world, but in the cyber world, I am. So they were able to maintain my pay scale for those 13 years that I had been a web designer. And from there, I was able to go ahead and progress into my career. I am new in tech still after 7 years. I'm still learning so much. I was a pen tester for 2 years. I was an analyst for 1 year. And for nearly 4 years, I've been digital forensics and incident response analyst for about 4 years with ICF right now. So you want to be hired. The big steps are to create a plan of action, figure out what certifications are needed, figure out what skills you need to know, figure out what projects you should show on your resume. Make sure your resume is tech related, and they do have resume reviews today here for you all. Talk to hiring managers and talk to job recruiters. This is going to be your outline on how to get yourself into cyber. I'll let you go ahead and take your photos. Okay, how to prepare for the job you want. It all comes down to research. Research. Hop on these job sites. I love Indeed.com, so you'll see me use Indeed as a reference. Hop on it and truly research the job title and the certification that you want. From there, you're going to be able you're going to be able to see a full job listing of the full description, and you read that description and you say to yourself, can I do this every day? Would I want to do this every day? What they're asking of me? What skills do I need to be able to get this job? This is the job that I really, really want. And what certifications do I need, if any, to get this job? That's how you're going to outline the next steps for your progression into cyber. It truly comes down to you putting in the work, putting in the time to research those positions that you want. That's exactly what I did. I was able to see Security Plus. That's all I had at the time. So I was searching jobs that had Security Plus listed as job certifications, and I went for it. And you can do the exact same thing. You don't have to spend a lot of money to gain the skills. There's YouTube, Coursera, Udemy is really cheap. And there's other paid resources out there, but those are the top, like, low cost sites to go ahead and start gaining your skills on. How do I know what type of role fits me? This goes back to research. Researching the type of job that you want, and ask yourself once again, does this description fit what I want to do? Research the sites, research the kind of job roles that are aligned with your certification. Take a picture of this URL. This URL has an outline of different job titles as well as their corresponding pay. So you get a good feel as to what job title is what do they do, and what's the average pay scale for that. Ways to train in cyber. Self-study, that is the top one. If you cannot motivate yourself to study on your own, you will not last in cyber. Most work that we do is all on our own. We are isolated. We work remotely mostly. You have to be able to really motivate yourself to gain these skills. Certifications, that's what gets you in the door. HR loves certifications. It's just the way it is. You know, you can have all these skills, you can know Python, you can know Linux, you can do all these things, but if you don't have a certification under your belt, HR is not going to look at you. And that's just the bottom line. I know plenty of people that don't have certifications that are very, very good in tech, but they don't have the opportunities that I do because I have more certifications. That's all it comes down to. You want to get in the door, get yourself one of the most basic certifications. A+ is for help desk. A+ certification is going to get you building these computers, taking them apart, answering the phone, saying, did you turn it off again? Did you turn it on? That's going to be your world if you get an A+ certification. Security Plus certification gets you in the world of security, whether you want to be on the InfoSec team or not, that's going to get you the door in security. There's Network Plus, that's always a good one if you want to go to more of the CCNA route. If you want to get more into networking and building firewalls, that's the route you would go. Joining communities like LinkedIn, Slack, Twitter, and Discord. That opportunity to network and to keep yourself open and to connect with people. I have over 500 connections on LinkedIn and I don't know but 2 people. This all comes down to networking and really making sure that people know what it is that I do. And I say, hey, I'm always open and available to any new opportunities, you know, whether it's side work or maybe another job, who knows. But right now I'm at my dream job. Build a lab. You do not need expensive hardware to build a lab. You can simply stand up a VM, whether it's on Azure or AWS, and work from there. You do not need to invest in $1,000 worth of equipment. Attend conferences like you're doing today. This is a great way to network. I've met so many of you online, and it's great to see faces now in person. So thank you for attending. But this is a great tool. And teaching others what you know today, what I'm doing here today, and finding entry-level jobs. You may say, I don't want to take a huge pay cut by going in entry level to what I'm already doing. If that's the case, you have to make a case for yourself to why you deserve to stay at your current pay scale. That's going to come up when you're in an interview. They're going to say, well, what are your salary requirements? And you're going to say, well, 60K, but fully negotiable. And I'll touch on that in a moment. I'm getting ahead of myself. And finally, volunteering. I guarantee that your help will be well used and useful to someone in the future. And I have an example here, writing policies and procedures or tighten up a firewall. You will gain experience from your portfolio here. Okay, you've landed the first cyber job. Should I negotiate my pay? Now, as I just stated, employers ask, what salary are you looking for? And you say 60K, but fully negotiable. Fully negotiable needs to always be in your vocabulary. Keep that as the tagline for when you are talking about your money. That keeps the door open because employers want to see that they can afford you. And at the same time, they want to focus on the skills that you have. But you don't want to be lowball. Always go up another 5K at minimum at your next job. Believe me when I tell you, you can do this. They're going to ask you, well, what are you making now? Well, what you offering now? You know, you have to keep your pay in mind. What do you feel you deserve, as well as what is the market? You've already done your research. You know how much the job role pays within your location. So you have that as a basis. Tack on the 5K that you need. That is your starting point. Never, and I mean never, go back and pay unless it is your dream role. Unless this is a career move that you know is going to help engage your skills and help boost your resume, that's when you take a pay cut. Otherwise, no. And women, you need to negotiate your pay. The men negotiate their pay. They come out with a signing bonus. They come out with all kind of signing perks, and women don't. Women, to stereotypically, we get the offer, we say yes, we sign, and we're so happy to have the role, but that's not what you want to aim for. You want to be able to protect yourself as well as gain more money. And ask if there's a signing bonus. I did that and I got a signing bonus. It never hurts to ask. Be aware of the full benefits of that role and take it all into consideration when you are considering your next job role. It's not just about healthcare. This is about being able to live, sustain your lifestyle, and work in the sector that you want to work in. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Before you actually go to your interview, if you have an opportunity to talk to HR or recruiter, you may want to ask what the salary range is so that you have an idea. of
Absolutely.
what to actually say that your salary requested.
Absolutely. And a lot of jobs now are listing it within the job description. You'll see that, yes, they list, look, this role is between 50 and 70. And you're like, 50 and 70, what kind of range is that? I'm gonna go in at the top range. So keep that in mind as you're doing your job hunt. These tools, take a picture of these tools right here. These security tools are all free. Try Hack Me, Security Blue, Cybrary, even though they do have a paid section on Cybrary now. Khan Academy, Coursera, edX is similar to Coursera, but the schools and the different certifications, they have a certificate program that is paid for, but for the most part, the content is free. NetAcad and MIT OpenCourseWare. These are some sites that's going to help you gain the skills that you want without breaking your bank. And that's what's needed when it comes to tech, because tech can be very expensive. And finally, keep in touch. I'm on LinkedIn. You can email me at any time. I'm happy to answer any questions. Does anyone have any questions as of right now? I know we're tricky on time right now. Yes, ma'am.
So you say your salary is before the motion. I'm hiring someone, I'm going down.
Yes, yes. No, I would always say fully negotiable up front. I would always, from the very beginning, when we have, It does at sometimes. I shouldn't say all the time. Sometimes they say, well, I'm gonna go as low as I can because that's their job, that's their role, right? But you have to hold tight on what it is that you are bringing to the table, and that includes your pay scale. Do not lowball yourself because you're gonna say, oh, but she's gonna offer me less than 70, or she's not gonna like that I'm going so high. No, pick your pay and hold tight to the pay that you want. Believe me, right, but that's where the game starts. You're gonna go back and forth, back and forth. They're gonna be emailing you back and forth. Well, we can't do 60. Can we do 52? Can we do 56? Can we come down to 50? Only you know what your bottom line is. So you have to be able to say, look, this is what I require. I'm happy to further discuss this position with you, but this is what I require to move on to this position. I'm very interested in this position. I'm very motivated and excited about what I could bring to the table, but this is what I require.
So what are you negotiating?
You negotiated, no, your benefits coming with the package. You're negotiating straight for your before tax pay. That is what you are negotiating, your before tax pay. We're not considering if we could work from home. We're not considering our health benefits. We're not considering the rest of the benefits package that comes with this. We are strictly trying to negotiate, what is my before tax pay for this role? Yes, yes. I had a bit of imposter syndrome, as they say. I truly came aboard so from the book, and my exam went so well. I knew that I was going to come in and do great. But once I was sat in front of the computer, I do not remember this on the exam. So I so I had to be very upfront and honest with my employer. And he was a great direct manager. And I said, look, and he hired me. So he knew what my skills were, you know. So I said, look, I'm gonna keep learning this system here. This is my plan. This is my action plan for myself for the next 30 days. I'm gonna learn this system here. I'm gonna be able to monitor these alerts over here. And I had a teammate who I went to and asked, I like the blue team work, you like the red team work, could we work together? So there's a bit of the come to Jesus moment where you have to say, this is what I'm capable of doing today, but within 30 days, within 60 days, these are gonna be my skills. That's what your employer wants to know, wants to see, and they already know where you're at. So they just want to see some growth from you, and they want to see you motivated. That's what employers look for. They know that you are not Snowden when you walk through the door. You know, we're not all these gurus. We're just average people that have taught ourselves these wonderful skills. And so don't be nervous about just speaking up and saying what support you need from your employer. And don't be afraid to talk to some of your coworkers that's on your team. If you have a team, if you're lucky enough to have a team, speak to your teammates and learn from your teammates. And they're gonna learn some things from you too. Just because you're new doesn't mean you don't know anything. Just because you're new doesn't mean you can't be heard. So I truly want you all to walk with the confidence of saying, I know these skills, I'm ready to jump in, I'm ready to get this job. And I know I can do well at this job. I just have to learn their systems. I just have to learn how they do things. And from there, you know, you're gonna be going full steam ahead, full steam ahead. Yes.
So in terms of kind of piggybacking off what she said, I am in the process of studying for my security class, but I have a banking background. I'm transferring over now. I don't have any experience. So I know you said certificates. What would you recommend other than like, what could I do to strengthen like my possibility of being hired? So I don't have a background, I'm a certificate, but any other recommendations?
Sure, your certification is gonna get you through the door per se, you know, but I'm sure your background is not really a tech background yet. I strongly suggest doing some projects. Doing some projects of your own and putting that on your resume. Because that's gonna say, oh, she understands these bullets here, she understands Linux, whatever it is that you want to add to your resume. She understands how to do Python here. So the things that you were teaching yourself, keep adding it to your resume. And when I say do a project, I mean, it could be something as simple as just standing up a VM and setting up some firewalls. Just things like that. And you will list that on your resume, you point out and say, yes, this is what I've done on my own. This is what I can do. Yes, ma'am.
Reference to Lay's question about, you know, once you get the certification, how do you translate that into getting a job? And so, did your employer not teach you, was there not any like on-the-job training with the tools? Because every employer probably has some different flavor or some different configuration of the tool set. So you had to learn it on your own, or they actually showed you?
Actually, my teammate showed me more than my boss did. My boss was just Jersey guy who was like, okay, do it yourself, figure it out. You know, just let me know if you need anything, but I want you to figure it out. Because he took the OSCP exam. I don't know if you're familiar with that exam, but it's a hacking exam. And their whole motto is try harder. They don't get any lessons, you will just research and try harder. And that's where he came from. So his whole deal with me was, you're gonna figure this out. If you need me, I'm here, but I want you to figure this out. So I didn't have any formal training, but what they did do, they offered training. They said, we have a $5,000 budget every year. You can go ahead and take a class. I said, okay, I signed up for a boot camp right then and there. And the boot camp helped me tremendously. So your employer may have tuition reimbursement, and that's a great thing. They may pay for you to go to courses. They may pay for you to go to conferences. Definitely find that out, because that is a benefit to yourself. What else?
Yeah, I was thinking that companies probably would have some kind of onboarding or some kind of training program, or to her point, a reimbursement to help.
Yes, because they don't formally, you're the tech person coming in. They look at you as the tech expert. I don't care how many years you have experience. You're coming in there, sitting in the IT section. People are going to assume that you know everything there is to know about tech. So you have to stay in line within your skills. Your imposter syndrome will go away. I promise you, the more confident that you get within your skills, you will make a great asset to a team. Whether it's blue team, whether it's red team, is up to you. You have to figure out which lane you want to be in and work 10 times as hard to be an expert in that lane. They want to do SME, that's going to be behind your name. Subject matter expert, that's going to be you. So don't hesitate to get more skills. Always, every year, get more skills. I don't care if it's just going to a conference. Every year you need to say, I did this as training. Yes. Nice to meet you.
I guess my follow-up with that about, looking at this,
Mm-hmm.
right now. Recommend that I wait until I get that experience, or should I just hop on that?
I would just hop on it and do it. I would I wait to get my skills on point? That's another thing that you can add to your resume, and that CISA cert is a very good certification to have. They really look for that. If you search that on job boards, you will see a lot of jobs come up for that certification. So I would definitely not wait to get it. I would just do it on my own. Are there any other questions? Okay, well, this is how you find me. Please don't hesitate to reach out at any point, and I'm happy to share any 2 cents I have on how to get you set into cyber and how to make sure that you have a viable career in cyber. Because most of you are pivoting into new areas, the new area of cyber. I know it's nerve-wracking. I know it could seem like you are just buried in tutorials. But it's gonna be worth it. I truly tell you, it's gonna be worth it to be able to stand in the IT sector space and to one day tell someone else how to get into cyber. Thank you all. I appreciate it.